Hello and welcome back. In this Black Excellist presentation, we will highlight the 10 African countries for African Americans to retire.
Welcome to blackexcellist.com, the site where we share Black excellence, opulence, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
This is our second video in our series to highlight these wonderful African countries that are appealing for individuals all over the African diaspora to consider relocating to. In Africa, a new lifestyle awaits you where you can enjoy the cultural and local population who are keen to show you the wonders of the motherland. Africa is a big destination for expatriates from around the globe, and the continent has 54 independent countries, and each one hosts a large diversity of ethnicities, cultural traditions, natural beauty, and a mosaic of languages. If you are considering moving abroad, we implore you to perform your own extensive research and take advantage of the vast amount of information and testimonials that are available on the internet. And maybe this video is the first step in performing your own due diligence. In this original Black Excellist video, we will be featuring 10 countries in Africa for expats. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Tanzania. Tanzania is a culturally eclectic and largely homogeneous society that is extremely rich in age-old cultures and traditions. It has been described as one of the most diverse countries in Africa. It is a country whose culture is infused with African, Arab, European, and Indian influences due to its prominent role in the spice trade. The local population is well known for being friendly and polite to visitors, and there is a strong sense of national pride that reverberates throughout the country. Tanzania's population includes more than 120 different indigenous African people, most of whom are today clustered into larger groupings. Tanzania is an East African country with diverse landscape and rich cultural traditions, located just south of the equator. It is home to the continent's highest mountain, Kilimanjaro, and the world's second deepest lake, Lake Tanganyika. It also includes the Zanzibar archipelago, several islands, sometimes called the Spice Islands, in the Indian Ocean, 15 miles off the coast of Tanzania. It is a very popular tourist destination with its breathtaking beaches and clear turquoise blue water. Tanzania's stable economy can provide interesting job opportunities to foreign professionals looking for work. It is a developing country and its economy depends heavily on agriculture, accounting for more than 40% of its GDP. Apart from the agricultural sector, tourism, mining, and small-scale industries are increasingly contributing to the national economic growth. Mainland Tanzania can be divided into 4 principal climatic and topographic areas: the hot and humid coastal lowland of the Indian Ocean shoreline, the hot and the arid zone of the broad Central Plateau, the high inland mountain and lake region of the northern border, where Mount Kilimanjaro is situated, and the islands of the northeast and southwest, the climates of which range from tropical to temperate. Precipitation is heavier on the coasts, where there are 2 peaks of precipitations from October to November and April to May. Tanzania has a quality of medical care in the country that is generally low. Experts are strongly advised to purchase a comprehensive private international health insurance plan or make arrangements with a private doctor, which can get quite expensive. Number 2. Seychelles. Beautiful beaches, blue lagoons, ideal temperature is the dream setting of this beautiful country of Seychelles. Expats looking for job opportunities can find leads in the tourism sectors. It is one of the richest countries in Africa with the highest GDP per capita. Seychelles culture has been shaped by a combination of European, African and Asian influences. African influences is revealed in the local music and dance as well as in Sewa. Like its neighbor, Mauritius, the Seychelles is often cited as an example of racial and religious harmony, and compared with most countries it is. Thanks to the island, close link with Europe, the contemporary feels of Seychelles is surprisingly modern. The main island of Mahé can be a rather sophisticated place, characterized as much by Western-style clothing, brand new cars, mobile phones, and modern houses as by any overt sign of traditional Creole culture. But beneath this strongly westernized veneer, many aspects of traditional Creole culture survive. They live on in dance, music, hospitality, ancient belief, the language, the carefree attitude, and in many other day-to-day ways of doing things. Dance plays an important role in Seychelles society. The sensual dance blends traditional African customs, religion, and social relations, key elements central to African life. The complicated and combining dance movements were traditionally carried out under moonlight to the beats of African drums. Its citizens enjoy participating in and watching several team sports. The National Stadium, located in the capital city of Victoria, offers a year-round program of events. Seychelles, Island Republic in the Western Indian Ocean, comprising about 115 islands in the Indian Ocean northeast of Madagascar, with lush tropical vegetation, beautiful beaches, and a wide variety of marine life. It is one of the world's smallest countries, composed of two main islands groups. Tourism is the predominant industry in Seychelles, as well as agriculture and fishing. Seychelles has a mixed developing economy that is heavily dependent upon the service sector in general and the tourism industry in particular. Despite continued visible trade deficits, the country has experienced steady growth. The climate is tropical oceanic, with little temperature variation during the year. Daily temperature rises to the mid-80s in the afternoon and falls to the low 70s at night. Precipitation levels vary greatly from island to island, but humidity is persistently high. The Seychelles government provides free access to primary healthcare for all its citizens and has adequate service in child and maternity healthcare. Access to education and health, safe drinking water and sanitation is considered to be adequate within the country. Number 3. Cape Verde. The Cape Verde Islands are a place of great contrast, with each of the 10 islands offering a different experience. Cape Verde varies widely in character and scenery through its islands and 5 tiny islets. From spectacular verdant mountain ranges to deserted beaches with a few volcanic landscape thrown in for good measure. It's the variety that makes Cape Verde such an unusual and appealing destination. You will notice the blend of Portuguese and African influences in the buildings, curious musical styles, and particularly noticeable in the food. Music is a key component of life, and several of the islands host exuberant carnivals. Cape Verde is in the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of Western Africa. Cabo Verde is named for the westernmost cape of Africa, Cape Verde, which is located in nearby Senegal and is nearest point on the continent. Expatriates settling here can enjoy a pleasant way of life in a warm climate and fantastic beaches. Praia, the capital, offers good housing options and some job opportunities. It also hosts a small English-speaking community, the main language spoken here being Portuguese and Creole. Cape Verde continues to exhibit one of Africa's most stable democratic governments. After independence, the government played a central role in Cabo Verde's economy, and dramatic changes to the Cape Verdean economic structure have since guided the country toward a market economy. As a result of these reforms, the number of utility companies, bank, tourism sector entities, and other enterprises have started to flourish. Additionally, the government is continuing to invest in modernized infrastructure, providing economic support for these new companies. Generally moderate, the climate is characterized by stable temperature with extreme aridity. The island are profoundly affected by two-season nature of the intertropical convergence zone, a belt of converging trade winds and rising air that encircles the earth near the equator. Medical facilities in Cape Verde are limited, and some medicines are in short supply or unavailable. The cost of treatment at the private clinic is slightly less than what you did expect, but it's highly recommended to invest in health insurance. Number 4. Zambia. Zambia is commonly regarded as one of the most beautiful, friendly, diverse, and unspoiled country on the entire African continent. Situated in the southern part of Africa, it is an intriguing country that offers scenery full of natural wonders. Zambia's contemporary culture is a blend of values, norms, material and spiritual traditions of more than 70 ethnically diverse people. Expatriates are drawn to this country due to its culture, traditions, folklore, and plethora of colorful festivals. Today, Zambia is one of Africa's most urbanized countries due to influence from Western culture. But the people of Zambia still preserve their tradition and celebrate over 20 ceremonies and cultural festivals each year in the different parts of the country. Aside from the majestic Victoria Falls, Zambia has more natural water resources than any other South African country, including a myriad of other falls dotted across the country. Not to mention the famous Zambezi River. The many national parks offers great opportunities for observing Africa's plains game and attendant predators, while bustling urban areas offers a taste of eclectic Zambian culture. The country has countless ages of undisturbed erosion. Of the underlying crystalline rocks. The rocks contain the bulk of the country's wealth in form of minerals, and the 90-mile-long corridor known as the Copper Belt along the northwestern part of the country is the mainstay of the Zambia economy. Zambia is a developing country and has achieved middle income status in 2011. Through the first decade of the 21st century, the economy of Zambia was one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, and its capital, Lusaka, is one of the fastest growing cities in Southern Africa. Zambian culture remain prominent, and long-standing tribal customs include rituals and ceremonies to mark rites of passage, such as coming of age, marriages, or changing seasons celebrations. Zambia's music characterized by a lot of singing and dancing, is a mixture of tradition, African and Western and contemporary sound with influences from Zambia's different traditional groups. Music from other African countries as well as Jamaican and American genres. Since Zambia is a country that is almost entirely covered by plateau, the climate is consistent, making the temperature generally acceptable for most of the year. The climate is tropical or subtropical depending on altitude, with a hot, humid and raining season from mid-November to March and a dry season from April to mid-November. Zambia offers universal healthcare for its citizens, but due to limited funding, the public healthcare provided is severely inadequate. Most expatriates choose to seek medical attention at the good private hospitals in Zambia's big cities. In comparison, they offer higher quality services at a faster rate. Number 5. South Africa. South Africa, the southernmost country on the African continent, renowned for its varied topography, great natural beauty, and cultural diversity, all of which have made the country a favored destination for expatriates since the legal ending of apartheid in 1994. South Africa is often referred to as the Rainbow Nation because of its cultural and racial diversity. Black South Africans are generally warm, patient, creative, and charismatic. They share an adventurous, entrepreneurial streak that sees them opportunistic and open to take risks. Over 70% of South Africans identify themselves as Black African, descending from the tribal cultures from all over African continent. South Africa has a rich cultural legacy, with the tribal traditions mixing with the more westernized population. South Africa's many nationalities and cultures are reflected in its cuisines, which has African, Asian, and European influences. The great mixture of cultures make for a wide variety of food choices in the country, from the traditional food of various cultures to the cosmopolitan cuisine that is available in many large cities throughout the world. This melting pot of cultures has created a fascinating range of languages, religion, music, and art in one country. Traditional art forms such as dancing and textile weaving are used as vehicles of ethnic identity and are carefully preserved, while modern art forms, from painting to literature, have flourished in the years since the end of apartheid. Many popular South African arts represent a future of cultural influences such as township jazz and pop music, religious choral music, and so-called traditional dances. South Africa is one of the most geographically varied countries on the continent, with a coastline that stretches 1,600 miles, vast desert plains, and mountainous terrains. Its coastlines borders the Indian Oceans to the southeast and the Atlantic Ocean to the southwest. South Africa enjoys a relatively stable mixed economy that draws on its fertile agricultural lands, abundant mineral resources, tourist attractions, and highly evolved intellectual capital. The economy of South Africa received a surge when diamonds and gold were discovered there. However, economic prosperity for majority of South Africans would not become available until apartheid was abolished. In spite of greater political equality and economic stability for all citizens, South Africa still faces steep socio-economic challenges in post-apartheid existence. However, the post-apartheid civil landscape of South Africa has seen the black population urbanize and educated faster than other countries. The number of black South Africans in the middle class and occupying positions in the society and government is increasing exponentially. The country's social turbulence fuels an ambition to be economically independent, self-sustainable, and competent in order to escape the crippling condition of unemployment. South Africa is a large country with a climate that varies from region to region. The Western Cape has a Mediterranean-type climate, whilst the interior of the country has a semi-desert climate that is typified by cold, dry winters and summer rainfall. There is a two-tier healthcare system in South Africa with a large subsidized public sector and a small but high-quality private sector. With significant funding and the best specialists going to the private sector, there is a major gap between the public and private healthcare facilities in much of the country. Therefore, it is highly advisable for expats to take out a private insurance policy to receive the best healthcare available. Number 6. The Gambia. The Gambia is the smallest country on the mainland continent of Africa, but its captivating array of natural beauty and wildlife really belies its small size. The stunning backdrop of swaying palms and scenic lagoons makes the Gambia an attractive country for visitors, travelers, and expats to experience. As a cosmopolitan nation and one of the most densely populated countries in West Africa, expatriates can easily mingle with the warm local population and rapidly adapt to their host country. The Gambia, known for being warm, friendly, and safe, earning the country the reputation for being the smiling coast, adding to its rich culture and vibrant heritage. It is home to Jufure, the reputed ancestral village of Kunta Kinte, the main character in Alice's well-known novel, Roots. The Gambia is flat and is dominated by the river, which is navigable throughout the length of the country. The peculiar shape and size of the country are the result of its territorial compromises made during the 19th century by Great Britain. The Gambia's economy is dominated by agriculture. About 2/3 of the population is engaged in raising livestock or growing crops. Small-scale manufacturing includes processing peanuts, fish, and hides. The most promising sector for expat professionals looking for job opportunities are industries and services. The highest concentration of people is around the increasingly urbanized landscape as well as its capital city of Banjul. Urban dwellers retain close ties to their rural relatives, and there is considerable interaction between rural and urban population. The Gambia has long been home to several different ethnic groups who have maintained their individual cultural traditions. Gambia cuisines is nearly identical to Senegalese cooking. Dance and music, traditionally tied to village activities, are still important to Gambians today. The musical performances of traditional West African troubadour historians, known as griots, not only provide entertainment but also serve to preserve cultural traditions, oral gynecologies, and historical narratives. Gambians are also enthusiastic soccer fans, and virtually every town and villages there has a field or an open space for playing the sports. The country lies within the Sudanian climate region, giving it a tropical climate. Uninterrupted hot, humid weather predominates the months of November through May. The rest of the year, or its green season, enjoys rain from June towards the end of October. The healthcare system in Gambia is built around 3 levels with 4 referral hospitals that are operated by the government. There are a small number of health centers with over 200 mobile clinics. The Gambia hosts a number of privately run clinics which are recommended to expats who should have an international medical plan with an emergency evacuation package. Number 7. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a welcoming, friendly West African country with a tropical climate and beautiful beaches. Sierra Leone's culture is a diverse blend influenced by large amounts of ethnic groups inhabiting the country. The people in Sierra Leone are friendly, hospitable, and willing to give new expats a warm welcome. Moreover, the locals are expressive and joyful, and religious beliefs and customs are very much present in everyday lives. The international atmosphere of its capital, Freetown, commands one of the world's largest natural harbors and has quite an international community of expatriates. Sierra Leone, as with most African countries, has a complicated history characterized by colonization and civil war, but its people and the government has done a tremendous job of moving forward and rebuilding the country. Sierra Leone is bordered on the north and east by Guinea, on the south by Liberia, and on the west by the Atlantic Ocean. The country can be divided into 4 distinct physical regions: the coastal swamp, the Sierra Leone Peninsula, the interior plains, and the interior plateau and mountain region. Although most of the population is engaged in subsistence agriculture, Sierra Leone is also a mining center. Its land yields diamonds, gold, and other precious minerals. Since the end of its civil war in the early 2000s, the government of Sierra Leone has undergone the arduous task of rebuilding the country's physical and social infrastructure while fostering reconciliation. Private capital dominates mining concerns, commerce, and banking. The most outstanding feature of the country's cultural life is music and dancing, as it is an important fabric of normal life. Sierra Leone's music is a mixture of native, French, British, West Indian, and Creole musical genres. Furthermore, the different communities of the countries have their own style of costume and dance. The climate of Sierra Leone is tropical and is characterized by the alternation of rainy and dry seasons. Conditions are generally hot and humid. During the rainy season, from May to October, humid air masses from the Atlantic dominates. The dry season, from November to April, is characterized by the harmattan, a hot, dry wind that blows from the Sahara. For those living in Sierra Leone, healthcare is managed by a mixture of government departments and private companies. In 2010, the government launched a system of free healthcare for pregnant women, new mothers, and children under 5 years old. Apart from that, all healthcare services are charged. Due to this, expats living in Sierra Leone are encouraged to obtain comprehensive medical insurance cover before they move to the country. Number 8. Gabon. Gabon is one of the least heard-of countries in western part of Africa, but it has one of the highest urbanization rates in the world. More than 4/5 of Gabon's population is urban, with about half the people living in its capital and largest city, Libreville. It also boasts of being an upper middle income country, since it is the 5th largest oil producing country in Africa. In the past decade, it has risen and attained strong economic stability because of its consistent production of oil and manganese. Unlike many other African nations in the vicinity, Gabon enjoys a relatively stable political system as well as prosperous economy. Gabon is unusual in the sense that it is a relatively peaceful nation, and yet within its population exist over 40 different ethnic groups. The relative safety of the nation is a plus for any expatriate thinking of living in Gabon. The capital, Libreville, has a well-established restaurant and shopping culture with a wide variety of food styles. Gabonese food is influenced by the French and the fact that Libreville is situated on the beach. Eating white fish is a delicacy for the locals. The city has an active nightlife and weekends are centered around the beach. Gabon is a country lying on the west coast of Africa, astride the equator. Gabon is generally divided into 3 different geographical regions. In addition to the coastal plain, there are mountains as well as the savanna in the east of the country. Around 10% of Gabon is protected by national parkland, and over 70% of Gabon is tropical rainforest with a plateau region in the south. Gabon's economy has more links with the European and American markets than with those in the neighboring countries. The economic shares some characteristics with those of other sub-Saharan African states, with a large degree of foreign investment and control, but a decline of agriculture. Oil accounts for a major source of the country's riches. Oil production accounts for 80% of the country's exports, 60% of fiscal revenue, and 45% of GDP. Gabon is also a hub of business tourism, offering visitors new encounters and an amazing culture. Gabon has an equatorial climate with year-round high temperatures and humidity. Rainfall varies with almost all of it. Falling between October and May. In the period from June to September, there is little or no rainfall, but humidity remains high. The health services in Gabon are mainly given by public institutions, though there are also private institutions that provide healthcare services. However, since government-provided medical attention can be inadequate, it is recommended that expats take out private healthcare insurance. Number 9. Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous black nation on the planet. Nigerians are known for their vibrant and friendly energy, expressed through diverse creative expressions. They are known to be intelligent, hardworking people, and they can do and never say never attitude, which is complemented with a friendly and accommodating spirit. Expats will certainly enjoy the culture and the flavor of Nigeria, from its rich heritage to its spectacular nature, from captivating destinations to its welcoming spirits. Home to over 200 million inhabitants, Nigeria has one of the largest population of youths in the world. There are an estimated 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria. Each inhabits a territory that is considered to be its own by right of first occupancy and inheritance. Nigeria's film industry, Nollywood, is the second largest film industry on the globe. The country also continues to maintain pioneering status with its music, which have played major roles in shaping African music scene, as well as influence on contemporary world music. Not to mention, the heartbeat of Africa can also be considered the fashion, technological, and creative hub in Africa. Marked geography differences exist between North and South in physical landscape and vegetation. These differences form the basis of the division of Nigeria into 3 geographic regions. The South is the most economically developed part of Nigeria, where its forest resources and tree crops are extensively exploited. The Central region is the most sparsely settled and least developed parts of Nigeria. The North, or Nigerian Sudan, experienced a new economic pattern when the construction of railroad connected the region to the country's coastal ports. The Nigerian economy is one of the largest in Africa. It is marked by middle income, mixed economy, and emerging markets, with expanding manufacturing, financial, service, communication, technology, and entertainment sectors. Nigeria's economy is ranked as the 26th largest economy in the world and the 24th largest in terms of purchasing power. By 2050, it is projected to be among the top 10 economies in the world. Nigeria has a tropical climate with variable rainy and dry seasons depending on location. It is hot and wet most of the year in the southeast, but dry in the southwest and further inland. A savanna climate with marked wet and dry season prevails in the north and west, while a steep climate with a little precipitation is found in the far north. Temperature and humidity remain relatively constant throughout the year in the south, while the seasons vary considerably in the north. Quality healthcare via Nigeria's universal healthcare system faces significant challenges due to its lack of resources, insufficient number of trained medical professionals, and growing population. However, adequate coverage through an international private health insurance plan is the recommendation for experts. Number 10. Rwanda. Rwanda is an African nation in the central region of the continent, where its citizens are drawing on their heritage to shape a modern culture that celebrates passion, care, and creativity. Beautiful weather prevails, making the country a pleasant spot to call home. Life is affordable, locals are friendly and welcoming, and in spite of its tumultuous history, experts report feeling extremely safe in the country. After the ethnic strife and the civil war in 1994, there has been a period of reconstruction and ethnic reconciliation in Rwanda. A new constitution aims at preventing further ethnic strife in the country, and the Rwandan government has implemented sweeping changes and reorganization. Now, multi-party democratic elections are held, and multi-ethnic provinces promote power sharing and reduce ethnic conflicts. Today, peace prevails in Rwanda, helping it become one of Africa's most progressive nations. Rwanda is a geographically small country with one of the highest population densities in sub-Saharan Africa. It is often referred to as the land of thousand hills, and its landscape is dominated by rainforests, mountains, volcanoes, and lakes. Rwanda's economy was decimated during the genocide. However, the current government has done a commendable job of stimulating the economy, which is now fairly stable and boasts steady growth and low inflation. Tourism too has rebounded and is again the country's leading foreign exchange earner, thanks to the naturally beautiful environment and endangered animals Rwanda is home to. However, the country's economy is overwhelmingly agricultural, with the majority of the workforce engaged in farming, which is highly labor-intensive there, with very little use of sophisticated machinery. Much of Rwanda's traditional cultural heritage revolves around dance, praise songs, dynastic poems and traditions, emphasizing their heritage. Regional dances are given pride of place in the country's cultural repertoire. Traditional crafts such as basketry, ceramics, and ironworks provides another element of continuity with the past. Festivals are an integral part of the Rwandanese culture and are usually held to celebrate important occasions in the society. Elevation accounts for Rwanda's generally mild temperatures, which average 70 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. There are significant variations, however, between the region of the volcanoes and the northwest, where heavy rainfalls are accompanied by lower average temperatures and the warmer and drier interior islands. The quality of healthcare in Rwanda remains poor as the country suffers from a shortage of qualified medical professionals. Therefore, experts should ensure that they have comprehensive medical insurance plan in place to receive adequate medical care.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed with us until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video. Bye for now. We will see you tomorrow.